Oh, it's time to get going. So, hello, welcome back to the stream. So it's Friday morning. Hang on, let me just turn that music down a little bit. So, welcome back, and excited to see that UI rendered. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what we're going to work on today. We're going to have a look at, or we're going to continue on with this art auction project that we had. So for those of you who have not seen what it is, we're basically reproducing this UI here in Xamarin.Forms. So we did one stream on it. That was about 2 weeks ago. Since then I've had surgery, which wasn't fun, but that's why I didn't work on it last week. So let me just, this is sort of a bit of a detail of what we're doing. So let's just catch up with where we got up to. So we started up a GitHub repo here, github.com/KimPhilpott's art auction. I'll throw that out into the chat window. I'm probably going to step out of the way here so you can see it. There it is there. So that's where we got our initial solution. We also, inside of there, have our design. So we basically took the design and somewhere here, Adobe XD. We basically got that design and we brought it into here and we pulled out the colors and we got the basic sort of application structure, right? Over in our GitHub repo, we've got some issues we created. One of the coolest things though is Lachlan Gordon went and added in a pull request, right? So I actually merged that in already. And what he had a look at there, let me have a look here, is he went and put it in this staggered grid view inside of this. So that was really cool. So we'll have a look, we'll have a bit of a work through this, and then we'll just try and get the application finished if we can. So if you're out there on the stream, feel free to throw in ideas about how we can get this done, or just sit back and relax, whatever you might want to do. Totally up to you. Before we get into it, a couple of things have changed. So I got a new camera. So I've probably got to adjust the size of me. I'm probably a little bit big in this view, but I got a new camera. So that's now there. So that's a DSLR. That I have pointing in there, which means I've got a webcam up the back. So this is actually a webcam here. This is where I work day to day. So I thought I'd give you a quick little look around where I work. So let's have a look at what we have here. So this is, let's work around here. We've got my MacBook, which is what I need for building my Mac stuff. I got my big ultra-wide monitor, which is what I normally develop on. I've got this screen over here, which is what I actually present from. And this one, which is where I have all my Twitch information and things like that. I've got all my various devices down here. So an Android device, a iPhone, and this little bad boy. I'm not sure if anyone remembers this operating system. Anyone remember this one? So that's a beauty, that one. Good old Windows Phone. Still my favorite operating system. Anyone know what this one is? That, my friends, is a drink coaster. So there we go. All right, now let's jump into this. All right, so I've opened up the project. Let's give it a run first of all and see where we're at. So this is with Lachlan's changes merged in. So let's run this on iOS. And as we go through today as well, if you've got any questions, like I said, if you've got any questions, any contributions you want to make, feel free, just hang out, have fun. Let me swap back to my desktop view here. I might make myself a little bit smaller here, I think, in this desktop view. Let me just deal with that first of all. There we go, I'm shrinking. There we go, that's better. All right, cool. So here's our application running, or it was. Here we are, let's have a look. This is where we're at the moment. So maybe we should have a little bit of a look at how that compares to what we have from our web page. So let's have a look at this over here. Okay, cool. So we got some of the basic elements done. So this is this first page here. We've got that section there. Obviously, one of the things we need to work on is fonts in here. We've got our sort of section here. We've got the initial sort of pop-up going on here to pop up this section here. So we need to implement this page here. Okay, so that's something we're going to do. What else have we got? This is the bit that Lachlan put in. So a really awesome pull request here from Lachlan. Basically, if I go and click on Vincent van Gogh here, Van Gogh maybe, it basically pops up, and then if we do it again, we have that section there. Okay, so that's basically this here, and what's really nice is we've got a staggered list here, and we've got a scrolling staggered list. So that's pretty cool. So a couple of things we'll want to change here. We might want to sort of adjust some of the spacing here, I think, but I mean, this is really awesome. We're going to put this section in here. And that's about it. Maybe move this up a little bit, but it's super awesome what you've done there. So thanks, Lachlan. Hey, Jessipes, welcome. Yeah, well, actually, Rob says you got the staggered list. Well, it turns out, this is really cool, Rob, that Lachlan, who's actually part of, who's here in Melbourne as well with me, he's part of the Melbourne user group. He actually put in a pull request in order to do it. So I've merged that in. It's still Thursday. Jessipes in Brazil. Open source for the win. Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at it. Hey, let's have a look at what he actually did. Because I was a bit dubious about whether it was possible to do it using our good old flow layout. But let's have a look at the page. So that's the artist. No, he put in a view model. Okay, let's work it through then. So he put in a model object. So what an artwork looks like. It's got an image path. So it's from Lachlan, a name, a price, and a height, right? So a height is kind of a bit more in this regard. So I think it's more like an aspect ratio really when it comes down to it. So he created a collection, a view model with a collection which had a bunch of images in here, the price, the name, the height, right? So that's sort of controlling essentially the aspect ratio. And then in the artist detail pop-up, so this is our page here. So he's got, I don't know if Lachlan's online. He might be, he might not be. If we have a look at what we have, we've got these grid for all these different sections here. We might look at changing that. I don't know. It feels like there's too many auto rows there for me. But anyway, we'll have a look. The exciting bit is this bit, right? The staggered layout. If we come down here, what do we have? We've got a, let's, hang on, let me bring this across here. Across here so we can see it at the same time. And we'll hide that. Okay, so we've got a scroll view, right? Scroll view is our root container here. And then we've got a stack layout. We've got other Van Gogh works. And then we've got our flex layout. So the flex layout, so bright your eyes. Are you talking about the fact that I'm using a, so DL overflow, are you talking about I'm using a light theme in Visual Studio? So we've got a flex layout in here. It's got a height request. I'm not sure if we need that height request. We'll play around with it. But the important thing is it's got this bindable layout, right? So it's basically got direction column. It's got an item template, bindable layout. And then inside of there, we've got a stack layout, which has an image button, which is what each of these are, and then a label, and then a label for the total value. So it's actually pretty simple, but it seems to work quite nicely, you know. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I was super happy to receive that pull request, because I thought I was going to have to write a whole bunch of custom renderers and carry on, but it seems to work. Alrighty, cool. So let's get started, maybe. Hey, let's now that we've had a bit of a review of that one, just get this out of the way here. Perhaps it's time to have a look at the pull request. Sorry, have a look at the GitHub issues and see what we've got. Probably the first one, and the one that I always hate doing, is fonts. Fonts are super annoying, so use better fonts. All right, let's have a look at that one. So what I'm going to do, let's have a look at the design that we have here. So this is a design in Adobe. We need to find ourselves a font that looks like this. So I always go to Google Fonts in order to find fonts, because, well, you know, if I was working with a real designer, they probably have a font that they would give me. But in this case, I just got to find one that looks kind of similar. There is a cool site called fontcdn.org. I don't know if anyone's seen this site. This site basically allows you to sort of, you know, search through all of those Google fonts and have a look at different things. So I can put in some text here. So let's try and find ourselves a font for that, the Starry Night. So I can put that in here. So what am I looking for? Something with serifs. Okay, so I can say, yep, put a serif in there. And then I can start having a look through here for something. So if anyone sees one they think is about right, let me know. If anyone is I tried putting this into, I tried getting the font and putting it, there's a few font search things, but all it returns me is really expensive fonts. And because I'm just doing this as a bit of an open source fun, I'm not going to go with that. Instead, I'm just going to use Google Fonts. All right, so let's find something that matches. Stop it. Stop it. Let's see if I can arrange my windows a little bit nicer here. Create round for the title. Is that a font? Create round. All right, let's see what we got here. The Starry Night. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. I'm not a font nerd, but I think what the artist is looking for. Let's see if we can find something that has like see how there's the T's are different, and it's got like a light strike through the T there. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find something else. It's a good suggestion. So I'll favorite that one. We'll just see if we can find something else. Am I standing? I am. See, I've got a standing desk, so I can dance around. Yeah. So this is. But what you'll also notice, because I had a gallbladder removed in the last week, you might also find me sort of doing this a little bit as well. Anyway. How many monitors? Just the 3. So, unless you can count iPads. So this is the one that gives me my stream information. That's why I'm looking at the chat. Actually, that's where I'm looking at the stream health and things like that. This one is the one that I stream from. So that's what is on this screen here. This one is the one I normally develop on, right? So it's an ultra wide, which is really cool. But it's not very good for streaming from because I can't really stream in ultra wide. So instead of that, I have this one. And then I've got a camera up here. So it's a digital SLR, and then my devices down here. So yeah, and my Stream Deck and my Mac down here. So yeah, that's my setup. Cool. Rob's come up with a font. A Microsoft shirt. Are you a certified teacher? I actually am a Microsoft certified trainer, but most of the time I'm working for Xamarin University and also for Microsoft Learn platform as well. But this is just my own thing that I'm doing here. All right, let's go back. Let's come back here. Let's have a look at that old standard TT. Rob's a real graphical kind of guy, so I reckon old standard TT. I reckon he might be on for a good one. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's got different weights as well. That's pretty cool. So let's put that in the Starry Night. Certainly got those little R's in there. Yeah, I reckon that's pretty good. Let's go with that one, hey? We can always change it later on. The hard bit with fonts, I always find is that they're just really hard to get into your project. Anyway, let's do this. Let's select this font, old standard TT. Let's go and download it. Let me go and extract that out to downloads. And let me go and bring that into our project. All right. Anyone put fonts into a project before? Lots of fun. So Xamarin.Forms. It's probably not going to help, is it? It's probably the worst. Oh no, I was going to say this is about the worst search ever. All right, so the idea is it'll tell us down here where we need to put these fonts. Using a custom font, that's what we're doing. So in iOS, we're going to put it under the resources directory. I'll tell you to put in the resources. Yeah, it does. Jessica says sometimes demands a lot of time to configure. It does. It does. Android goes under the assets. All right, so let's just do this. Let's go and grab our font. And let's go and put under our resources, add an existing item, downloads. What was it called? Old Standard. I think Old Standard Bold is what we're after. Old Standard Bold. And then we'll add it into our Android project as well. Into the assets folder. Old Standard Bold, TTF. Beautiful. All right. Now, so CloudMaker has a side question. Is there a way or a solution to compile the iOS project without buying an Apple product? Not really. You can, yeah, exactly. As Jessica says there, you can use Mac in Cloud. I don't use Mac in Cloud, but I had some students who use them. And it seems to work fine. If you've got a fast enough internet connection, I think it's possibly doable. So I think it doesn't matter, the pricing is whatever the pricing is. But it could be a good way of going. I suppose another way you could technically do it as well. If you just wanted to build it, you could build it through like VSTS, or sorry, Azure DevOps, and use one of their Mac agents to build it. You'd still need something to run it on. Hello. Pedrulis. Lewis it is. So welcome. All right, what we're doing is we're just putting fonts in. You know that bad boy? Putting fonts into here. So let's go back to our solution here. We've just added the fonts in. So what do we need to do? Right, let's go back to our docs here, because I never remember what to do here. In iOS, I know you've got to put it in your info P list. Yeah, cool. No problems, CloudMaker. All right, cool. Let's do this. So for what we'll do is we'll put this into our styles, right? So we'll come up to our app.xaml.cs. And this is how I've done it in the past. I basically use an on-platform for a string, right? Because the way that you have to get the font or the family name is a little bit different between the different platforms. So what I can do is I can say like on platform. And this might be like my my header font maybe. I think we just got a follow. Who was that? I don't think my alert's displayed. That's a bit of a pain. That was Lewis. Welcome, Lewis. Thanks for the follow, mate. Fantastic. All right, so we want a header font. So what we're saying is this is a string, right? So we're just going to put a string in here. So it's x:string. There's probably other ways of doing this, by the way. Something like that. And we're going to put in the font. Let's call this header font family. Okay, and then we'll say on our platform of iOS. So with iOS, what we normally do here is we go ahead and we put in the name of the font as it appears, right? So if we go back to our, and this isn't always the case, I haven't found this is always the case, but if I go back to my downloads here, and we have old standard bold TTF, right? The font family is normally this. So if I double click on old standard TT. So I'm going to try that to begin with. And we'll find out soon enough if it doesn't work. And then on Android, it's normally got a slightly different value. So the standard thing in Android, let's have a look down here, right? So if I scroll down here, this is what we're sort of doing. In Android, it has the name of the font, like the TTF file, and then that. With Mr. Kim, Phil Potson, oh, how amazing you'll be. Another follow. Fantastic. President Not Sure. Great name. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. So Android is normally the TTF font name and then the name or the font family as you'd find it. So let's see if that works. So the name of our TTF font is old standard bold.ttf and then hash something like that. All right. So now what we should be able to do, I think we've got a, what's this complaining about? Wow, my Visual Studio 2019 just died. That is the first time Visual Studio has died on me. Or not Visual Studio, obviously, but Visual Studio 2019. And it was a hard crash. Ouch indeed. Let's have a look. Let's see where we got up to. That didn't work very well, did it? Only got up to there. All right. Got our old standard in there. That's good. We'll just check its type. Android asset. Yeah, that's good. Check it under iOS as well. See if it's got it in there. Old standard. Bundle resource. Cool. All right, let's do that again. So we want a string here. We want to say on platform iOS. We want a value of, what's it called? Old standard TT. On Android, we want the font name. Hash, and then the family, I think. We'll find out soon enough. All right, cool. Let's close that tag and hope it doesn't blow up again. Okay, cool. Now what we should be able to do is in our title text, let's call this header font. We're using title font actually. Let's call this title font family. And we'll put this in here. I think I lost my Intellisense here as well. I did. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, let's try it on. Well, let's go into iOS first of all, and let's see if we can get this working inside of the info P list. So we'll open this in just good old XML editing mode. And we need to come down to the bottom here and we need to put that in there. Oh, hey, hello R2AU, R2D2. President not sure. Typo on static resource. Ah, yeah, the bomb. Thanks. Now, here's the question. Why is my Intellisense working? Let's do this. Let's give this a build. Nice one, Lewis. It's a test from VS 2019. Nobody remembers their syntaxes. Well, I don't remember anything. It's all from a misspent youth. What I do know is I hate the format of this info plist file. So if we have a look at what we need to do with this bad boy, fonts in Xamarin. Let's see if it says in here. And it doesn't actually say how we do it. XML like. Yeah, exactly. Follow this blog post. Nah, nobody remembers anything. Using custom fonts in Xamarin iOS. Awesome. That is a terrible font. Okay, add the font. Yep, done, done, done. Do the thing. Man, that's not right. Info P list. All right, let's do this one from... cool. Thanks, Jespis. I was going to search it. I was going to try and just do it by myself and see if it worked. So if you're on a Mac, so here's a pro tip for you. If you're on a Mac and you're using Visual Studio for Mac, you can use Mfractor, and Mfractor will just do all this stuff for you. But if you're on PC like me, there we are. This is exactly what we're after. Beautiful. If you're on a PC like me, then we don't have Mfractor. But you should totally send an email to Matthew Robbins telling him he needs to do that. Like I do every week. All right, so we need the TTF font names, so that's cool. Let's grab that one. Boop, boop, boop. Beautiful. All right, I don't know anyone who's ever got this working first time, so I expect this won't work. Yeah, exactly. I was actually chatting to Matthew yesterday, and it's coming. It's coming. Well, that's what he tells me. All right, let's try to run this up. Let's see if we've got our old font, our old times, old standard. Oh my God, it worked. Cool, there's our font. We have ourselves a font. Beautiful. Feels a little skinny. Exactly. And it also just says Starry Night, not the Starry Night. Well, look, let's just go with that, because we could waste a whole bunch of time getting fonts done. But we can spend time later on having a look at that. So that's cool. That's cool. A cheer for 100 bits. 100 bits for getting fonts working. You should give it to Jessipas, because he's the one who sent through the link for that. All right, cool. Let's get this other one, this other font done. In fact, before we do that, let's do this. Let's put this over here. Let's go and change our application so that it says the right thing. So it says the Starry Night. That's not how you do it. The Starry Night. Beautiful. All right, let's do our let's try it on Android, actually. With no Intellisense, exactly. It's like, look, Mum, no Intellisense. Let's try it on Android, see what happens. So with Android, I always deploy to a physical device. But I use something called Visor. I see not reload. You mean hot reload? Hot reload. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. There's a few different ways you can get that. Actually, R2RU, who's on here, knows lots about things like hot reload, but from a code perspective. I'll tell you what I use for it. I use a little tool called, just while my Android's deploying. You could use Flutter, that would be one option, but then you wouldn't be able to use C#. This is the one I use. It's really cool. I really like it. works nicely. It is a paid product though. Cloud Maker, Live XAML, could swear on it. It's worth all the money, all the dollars. Yep, absolutely. So that's one option. The other option is it Xamulator? Yeah. So this is a thing that's happening in open source. Has anyone used this? I don't use this, not for any reason other than I just haven't had time to play around with it. But it's the same concept, but I think it's only on Visual Studio for the Mac. Yeah, so if you're on Visual Studio for the Mac, you can get that one and it'll work. The other one that's the other good oldie is Gorilla Player. Gorilla Player is really good as well, but it doesn't do live running, right? This is only just previewing from your XAML. Xamulator is hard to configure for beginners. It could well be. I haven't used it. I'll tell you what, with Live XAML, literally all you do is you throw this NuGet in here into your shared project, or in my case, my .NET Standard library, and it just works. So yeah, that's another option. All right, cool. We're checking out the Android, weren't we? We're seeing whether the Android font took, and the answer here is yes, it does. So cool. Now we know how to do fonts. So let's find a font that looks like this one here. I hate working on one tiny little screen. Okay, back to Font CDN. So anyone wants to find a font that looks like that, let me know. So what is it? It's a sans serif. Now, what do we got here? It's got like a straight T on it and a straight Y. So they're good things to look at. Railway, that's kind of similar. This is totally the kind of place you can just waste days. That one's pretty similar. Let's have a look. Let's try it out. Yeah, I reckon that one's close enough. Let's go with that one. Let me extract that. Okay, equestrial regular. Looks good? Yeah, I reckon it looks good. So let's come back to our project. Let's stop this. Let's add it in. That's not the right directory. Equestrial. Okay, let's grab that. Let's throw it into our iOS as well. I'm just having a look at the chat window there. For Windows, oh, there's a follow there. I know who that is. J.D. Bouvier. Welcome. Thank you for the follow, sir. Jason. All right, so here's another one. Hot reload. How's that one work for you, Jessipus? Hopefully, hopefully good. Same idea, I'm assuming. Is there any that do? Does anyone know if there's any of the hot reloads that do code? Oh, so the question, Jessipas, was, does this hot reload work? Yeah, use continuous, but continuous isn't supported anymore, is it? Like, I used to use continuous all the time, and it was super awesome. I still use it. Yeah. I don't know. There's... You know, like, if I was going to trust anyone to do it, it would be you, R2AU. I think you could totally do it. All right, we're going to have font in. Let's have a look what that font is actually called. Questrial regular. It's just called Questrial. Okay, let's move that over here. Let's bring this in. Let's go back to our info P list. No, I don't want to close it. Let's just add a new font. No, that's not what I want. The font name. Arthur, are you updating continuous for Visual Studio 2019 because of the API changes? And Lewis says, where do I sign up? Well, sign me up as well. Like, I think that thing's magical. Of course, it's, you know, like anything that Frank does, it's always magical. All right, cool. I'm being distracted here. So we've got our title font. Let's throw in our body font. Actually, we should be good to run this now. We should be able to run this and see this live, right? So R2AU, can you use all of the new, you know, there's all that new, that change where you can have, you know, injected code and non-AOT code. Can that solve that problem? Body font family for iOS, it's called Questrial. Yeah. Come on. The interpreter solves the problem of running dynamic code on the device, which means we can do code-based hot reload on the devices too. Yeah. So it's just a matter of time. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, it was already possible in the simulator. Yeah, okay. Not really. All right, let's give this a go. Let's stop this. Let's run it. Oh, crikey's, I forgot to add it in here, didn't I? So I'll add it into, not that one, but we added in there. See that hot reload? That's what you need. This is the body font family. Beautiful. And for our body text, we'll put that in there as well. There we are. Beautiful. Let's have a look at how that compares. That's pretty good. All right. What might we want to change here? How are we looking? It's looking all right so far. I think that font's fine. Let's bring it down to about the same size. What should we work on next? I think that maybe the fonts are a little bit too big. That's all right. Maybe we'll leave it like that. We can fine tune that later on. Okay. Which page do you want to work on first? So we've got either this page, and this page is probably looking pretty good at the moment. Needs a few little tweaks, I think. Maybe we'll fix that one up. Okay, let's do that. So that's the page that Lachlan put a pull request in for. So let's have a look at how this is. Oops, that's not what we want. Let's have a look at how this is constructed. Okay, so we've got this this first section here. So we've got grid row definitions, 50, auto, a box view with a corner radius of 40. I think that's a bit big. Let's try taking it down to 20. Oh my goodness, what's happening, Visual Studio? That's probably a little bit better. Yep, that's nice. Make that a 20. Beautiful. What else we got? We got a circle image. Now each of these is in a different grid row. What happened there? We lost the ability to tap on it. All right, there we go. Alrighty. Well, let's put this data in here. So what do we need? We need to have 4 different, a grid with 4. I'm actually kind of keen to get rid of all of these. What is people's thoughts about all of these? Yeah, pretend to work, R2AU. That's always important. We didn't B-sod. We're still here. I think we're back. I think we're good. I think we're good. We can. You can see me. Awesome. Okay, let's. I've got no Intellisense here though. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut down Visual Studio again. I'm going to see if I get some Intellisense. Because it's really hard to code without Intellisense. Where are we here? Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong window here. Just bear with me for a second. Just trying to get that Intellisense back. We're back. Jessipas, we're back. Beautiful. My machine is running like rubbish though. I wonder why that is. Brr. You know what I did? I just launched Visual Studio 2017. That's a really bad idea. We want Visual Studio 2019. I don't even know how I did that. Dylan, have a question. What's the difference between Microsoft Visual Studio Code and Microsoft Visual Studio? Just wait for that jingle to stop. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so what's the difference between Visual Studio? Well, I suppose Visual Studio is a more full-featured IDE. I suppose, you know, Visual Studio Code is great for lightweight, for web development. But I think, you know, Visual Studio, the full edition, really just has more features for, you know, debugging and things like that. So it's a little bit heavier, but a little bit more feature packed, I think. I don't know. That's kind of how I think of it. All right. Now let's have a look at where we are. What we were doing is we're putting in this, and I'm hoping that I've got some. Yay! I got some Intellisense. Code is open source. I didn't actually know it was open source. No, Visual Studio has a free edition as well, right? Rob says Visual Studio Code is a sports car. Visual Studio is a van sports utility vehicle. There you go. There is a free version of it. So you can get Visual Studio, the community edition. Right, so that's totally free, and it actually normally has most of the stuff you need. You know, it just doesn't have some of the bells and whistles. All right, cool. Where are we? We're adding in a column here. Column definitions. I wonder. Let's go and run this onto my device here. Visual Studio taking it on the chin. All right. Cool. Column definition. So what we're going to have is we're going to have, I suppose we're going to have 4 columns, and then I'll probably use a stack. So I reckon grid here, 4 columns, and then just have stack layouts inside of there. That seems kind of reasonable. Let's try that, see if it works for us. So we'll just make the width of, look at that, my Intellisense isn't working again. Oh, no, it is. So we'll make the width of these star because we want them all to be the same width. 4 wide. So Rob says, I mean Van in the best way. Visual Studio can do everything. For example, VS Code won't do desktop development or Xamarin development or anything with a designer. Yep. I love Van, so I didn't take that as a negative, Rob, because I've got, as you know, Rob, I've got lots of small children, and I've got a Kia Carnival, and I love my van. Vans are awesome. All right, but no, that's a really good analogy, Rob. I like it. Okay, so what are we doing? We're doing stack layout. We're going to put this in grid dot column 1. Column 0, and then we're going to put a label inside of here, and it's going to say 7. The text is going to be 7.5 million, which seems a bargain. And then we'll have another label. We'll go text equals record. Okay, and we'll probably want to add a style onto these. Static. And let's try probably body text. Okay, so that's not in the right place, is it? So this grid needs to be in 6, maybe? Yeah, okay, that'll do. Row 6, and then we'll add this in. We'll say the style for this one. So we're just sort of looking at this bit here. A static resource. And this one is going to be a subtitle text, I think. Okay, cool. And maybe we want to put this. Well, let's just create a few of these first of all. So we're going to have that in there. We'll put that in there. We'll put that in there, and we'll see how it looks. All right, kind of. We got it going across there. Let's do some things like maybe add some margin around this. Yeah, that looks better. 0, 1, 2, 3. So maybe center and expand horizontal and vertical for all the stacks. Okay. So vertical options, center, sure. We want to do center and expand won't matter, will it? So we'll make horizontal options center. Okay, so that'll probably be a nice thing, won't it? For all the stacks. Well, I think if we grab, I think what we're really after is this one here, because they're kind of going to be vertically centered anyway, right? Like, so if we set the horizontal options at center, I think that'll be all right. There we are. So that looks kind of nice. So hang on a second. Am I missing something there, Jessipus? Define what? One place in the grid. Oh, I see what you're saying. Are you saying center it here? Make them auto and then center? Maybe. Well, let's do this. Let's try it. Why not? I mean, this is the fun, right, of doing layout stuff, is just trying different things. So if we just do auto. Right. So now the problem is you're going to have, well, I suppose we could do column spacing of like 20, something like that. The problem there is going to be, though, I think with the design, we want it to be the full width, kind of, you know what I mean? So it's going to be really hard to do if these are auto widths. So really we need to divide it up. Can we have multiple cursors in Visual Studio 2019? You can have, so I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but if we wanted to, we could use live share, president not sure, and we could sort of, I could share out a link to this so somebody else could look through the code. All right. So that's one option. You can, you can also split the file as well. But yeah, so live share is what allows you to do that. You can have a collaboration session. Okay, Jessipus, you're saying no, maintain the width of star. Okay, let's just do this. Maintain the width of star. All right, and the vertical options center and expand on the grid. I'm in VS Code where you can change text. All right, cool. Anyway, look, this is looking all right for the moment. We can refactor this a little bit later on. Let's put some details in here, just to see how it looks. 3.5 million. So instead of the record, that's the average. Average price for a Van Gogh is 3.5. That's not bad. All right. Get rid of that $sign there. How's that looking compared to what we're trying to do here? Did I create all of this on this one stream? I didn't. I had a stream. I had a stream 2 weeks ago. So for about an hour and a half or so, where we created the basics of it. All right, let's have a look. So that's even sort of left align, which is how it is. What do you think? Should we just go with that one? We need to add some padding in here. Make the number bold. These numbers here? Yeah, okay. Actually, you know what? Let's have a look. Let's try this. Something like that. Now, here's a question for you. Do you reckon it's worth putting that back into another style? I don't. But then again, when you do it, when you're applying it to 4 different things. Anyway, cool. All right. What else we got here? So we've got a grid here. We've got a box view here. Let's add some margin around that to the top and bottom. So left. That doesn't look like it worked. Grid.rows 5. 0, 10. Yeah, okay. So just adding a little bit of spacing in here. So horizontal alignment center for the text under the numbers. The way it's, I mean, it's a bit dubious here, I think. You see here, they're actually left line. 598 in general. Yeah, so, I mean, this is obviously where you work with a designer, but they're like this. So we're just trying to reproduce this. So we'll stick with it. Look, I think there's a few things in this design that would probably change. All right, so we've got our spacing there. We've got our thing here. This page is probably looking a little bit okay. What do you think? Maybe a little bit of spacing at the top here. Give us a little bit more room for this. And that needs to be a different font up here. Yeah, this is a bit messy, isn't it? Subtitle text. Let's make this body text. Okay. Other Van Gogh works. Yep, cool. These look pretty good. In fact, they look awesome. Maybe. Do we have a line spacing and a label? Anyone know? Line height. That's not it. I wonder if that does. Oh, there we go. Hey, cool. We do. So I just changed this line height here to reflect that. Now here's something that here's something pretty cool that Lachlan put in here as well. You see how it's got the read more here in a different color. He did that through spans. It's not quite right though, like in terms of if this was longer, right? So longer text, it starts pushing it down here. And I think the only way we can really fix that, I mean, it's pretty good so far. The only way we could fix that, if your designer really wanted this sort of layout here, would be probably to write a custom renderer or an effect, probably a renderer, which would basically do this calculation of this text here, work out how big that is, and then cut this line off at that point. But for the moment, let's just go with it. So that looks like a fun, a fun thing to write. Yeah, we can use the max lines. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So that will kind of work like this, right? So if I said max lines is 2, right, it's going to do it. So that's how it said max lines of 3. But, you know, and let's say I put in right, and that will limit it to 3. But the way that it's going to crop this, it's going to limit to 3. But the way it's going to crop it is not to basically get this span here and put it there and then move everything else back that way. So yeah, it's exactly. It might be a fun thing to do actually, because I think there's a bit of a need for that one. So if anyone wants to write a custom renderer, do one that does a read more or a bit of suffix text after a set of ellipses. That'd be a fun one to write. Anyway, I'm gonna go with this one here. I think we's good. I was gonna move this up a bit too. There we are. That's what I was gonna do. So not sure what this is. I think once I change that, it doesn't reload very nicely. Okay. Yeah, I reckon that looks pretty good. All right, let's stick with that. Okay, what else we got? Let's have a look at our issues. That's not the browser I'm looking for. Use better fonts, did that. Implement the artist popover. Yeah, we're done there. Add a backing model and view model. Lachlan did that. So later on we can change some of this to use binding. Staggered layout. Yep, we're good. Bid pop-up we need to do. And there's also a bug. Scrolling and clicking not working on Android. Ooh, interesting. All right. Let's do this bid popover first of all. So that's this one here, auction of pure art. Basically that bit. So at the moment, what we have going there is we've got the basics of when I tap on this, it pops that first section up. So what that is going to be this bit. And then we tap on it again and it goes all the way up, and that's going to be this bit here. All right, so we need to fill in the details there. Probably useful to have a look at the video of it actually, just to make sure that we're all right. So that's this one, pops up there. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, have a look at this. Yeah, what am I using for popovers? So that's a good question. I'm kind of just manually doing them. Let me quickly revisit that bit of the code. So each of the popovers is a content view, right? So like the bid popover here is that, right? So you can see that it's got a grid with a light background and an orange. All right, so that's this section. That's basically this bit here. And because what I need to do is I need to be able to say when it pops up, don't pop up all the way, just pop up half of the way. And then when I tap in this section, pop it up extra way. And also in this background, if I tap there, it dismisses the whole thing, right? So that's the trick here. So the way I've done it is not to use like, any of the popover libraries. Instead, I just kind of hard coded that sucker in. Whether it's a good idea or whether you got some other ideas, I'm good with that. So basically on my main page, okay, what we have is we've got those views that exist in there, right? And it's not really ideal, but it kind of works for what we're trying to do. And then I set the translation Y. So here the translation Y. So basically it's getting that page and it's pushing it down. And so they're all sitting down here underneath the screen. That's what this is doing. All right. Anyway, let's come back over to this one and let's... Yeah, I feel it should... I feel it would be nice to do it a different way, but I don't know what that is yet. So. All right. So what do we want? Let's do this section here. So maybe I'll leave that sitting there. And I'm going to do this. Just thinking what we'll do here. So for this section here, maybe we'll have maybe we could have a grid. It could just be a stack layout, really. A stack layout and then a grid here, maybe. We'll try it. We'll just punch it in, see what happens. Incidentally, does anyone use this feature? Oh no, it's not working. Maybe it only works at design time, where you can drag and drop the XAML across. I don't use it, but anyway. Yeah, I don't use that toolbox either. All right, let's see what we got here. You use that toolbox in class today? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, because like in case anyone is wondering what we're talking about, I'll stop this for a second. I think what we can do now is we can do this, right? It's no designer, but you can like sort of come in here and you can drop a label, and then in the properties window, come on, you should show me. There we are. We can come in here and you can see all the properties. And you can see how it doesn't scale well on my screen. And then you can set them through here. So that's pretty cool. I don't use it. I find it easy to just type them. All right. I'll tell you something I did learn. Corner radius can take 4 values. That's something I did learn. Yeah, I also feel the same way, Lewis, that it takes more time to like click around, but it's probably good for people learning and learning about new properties. I don't know. Sometimes Intellisense can be hard to find. Okay, where are we? So we've got our corner radiuses there. Okay, what do we need? We need underneath that, we need another label. This one is going to say I think maybe it's subtitle text. There we go. Maybe here what we'll have is we'll have a follow. Maxi Max, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. We're just doing a little bit of Xamarin.Forms layout here. So thanks for joining us. Everything you need. There we are. That looks a little bit better. 30 all the way around. And we'll add ourselves a little horizontal line. I think this wants to be light background. No, back. I'll make it a height of 1. So just adding a little line in here. Actually, I think what this needs to be is the color. Let's have a look back in here. Our color. Subtitle text color. Maybe. How's that for cheating? You see what I did there? I cheated. I don't know whether this is a bad thing to do or not, but you see what I have here. Let me get this Solution Explorer out of the way. I've got my stack layout with a stack layout, and I put a 30 in so as it brings it in here and here. But then the problem is this brings this in as well. So yeah, I stuck a negative margin in. Probably somebody from the Xamarin.Forms team would yell at me because of like all of the extra layout calculations it needs to do. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. We'll go with it. Now, next thing we need a horizontal stack layout. And what we're doing now is we're just putting these in. Put those in there. So on a label, text equals estimated cost. Style of and I think we also want a font attribute of bold. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm pleased you found it. President not sure. So yeah, absolutely. So there's some really good, I think somebody sent out a tweet. Here, let me bring up the tweet. Where are we? Let me grab this here. There was a tweet, somebody mentioning there's lots of really good stuff happening. Search for tweet. My stream elements has been a bit noisy, isn't it? Somebody was mentioning lots happening in Twitch regarding Xamarin. So here's all the other streams you want to check out as well. So there's Rob and Glenn, Renee, myself doing. So we're all XAMU trainers. So we often do XAMU classes, or we're doing XAMU classes at the moment on Twitch. But I'm also just doing this on the side as well. But there's also some other ones as well, like good old James Montemagno as well. He's of course always doing awesome stuff, so definitely recommend that. This one here, the white space, is basically David Ortonow and Clancy working with the designer and building up an application. So that's really cool. Clancy doing stuff, David Ortonow doing stuff. So yeah, heaps of really good stuff happening in the Xamarin space, which is cool. Yeah, you got to follow James. So here's something cool you can do as well. So, that didn't look very good, did it? Something that you can do that's cool. This is a bit weird. Let's have a look here. Do you know what that's done? Let's have a look at this. This is interesting. See how I've made this bold? It's actually lost the font. Watch this. If I put that back, I bet you this will be a different font when I refresh it. You know why I reckon that is? I reckon that's because, yeah, that's definitely a different font. You can see with the T there. That T looks totally different. Okay, I think the reason for that is because when we had a look at our font over here, Questrial, which is what we used, doesn't support anything other than just the normal style. That would be my guess. Doesn't have different font weights. So maybe we need to find a style that does have different font weights. A font rather that has different font weights. Anyway, we'll tackle that one a little bit later on. Yeah, exactly, Lewis. It doesn't have a bold type. Yeah, and so if it doesn't have a bold type, it just craps out and just goes back to like the normal one. All right, anyway, we'll leave it like that for the moment. So we'll say give that a margin. 0.10. And give it some spacing to get a bit of spacing in between here. All right, cool. Could use the size. Yeah, we could use the size. I think in a lot of designs though, And again, this comes to do with you. If you've got a designer working with you, they probably already have all these fonts already worked out. And you know, quite often designers will use fonts with different weights around the place. Yeah. So a question. So question CloudMaker asks, can we access all those weights? Yeah, because normally they're different fonts, right? So like, hang on, let's just finish that font conversation, and then I'll come back to the question that you had, CloudMaker. With a lot of fonts, let's pick something here with, well, let's pick this one with 14 styles, right? If we go and have a look at this one, yeesh, it's a horrible font, but just not that bad. If you go and download this, what I think we'll see, where's the download? Did it happen? There we are. If we have a look at the zip file, all of the different font styles are different TTF files. So you just bring in whatever ones you want. So yeah, you could access all of them. That's my understanding anyway. Not that I'm great at things like that, but I think that's how you do it. Okay. Is it so hopefully, yeah, Lewis, that's what we're talking about there, right? CloudMaker, is it possible to handle a clip tap on every element like a stack layout from XAML with a click binding? Yeah, you could come into a stack layout like this, and you could have a stack layout dot gesture recognizers, and then you could have a tap gesture recognizer in here, and that would be on anything in there. The other thing that you can do is you can cheat like I did. Have a look at this. Have a look at this here. So with what I do here, this comes up, and anywhere up the top here, I can tap. So the way I did that is I actually just have a box view that has a large opacity that goes over the whole screen here. It sits behind this, right? And that's got a tap gesture recognizer to tell that to go down. So that's kind of how to cheat. All right. So I think we've done that one. We'll have to deal with the fonts a little bit more. Maybe we can, yeah, maybe we can just sort of say, so CloudMaker, just for understanding, these are two separate views. Okay. I wonder. Do we have the inspector? No. Install Xamarin Inspector. No, I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, what is happening here is this is a page. This is my main page, and then those things that pop up, that is a content view. So that's a separate content view. That's the one that we're working on here, right? But it actually starts its life out overlaid over the page, just hidden down under the bottom, and then it slides up when it needs it. And the same with Vincent here. Hopefully that makes sense. No, the main page is a grid, right? So the main page is a grid, And down the bottom of the grid, I've got 2 pop-ups, right? And the translation Y here is making them go off the bottom, right? So we back? Yep, cool. All right, so I'm back. Beautiful. I'm gonna have to get a new ISP, I think. I blame my internet provider. Anyway, so that was how that works. Cool. Let's have a look at what we got here. Now, the next bit that we're gonna do is we're gonna do this section here. Okay, so with these 3 options in here, so I'm gonna do this as a grid. My go-to layout is a grid. So I think I'm going to have a grid with 3 rows and then 3 columns. Seems reasonable to me. Just going to refresh my live page, see if it's actually, if we are actually live. Yeah, I think we are. Cool. So I'm still within this stack layout, so I can say, let's create a grid with some rows. Rows have a height, so the height will just want to be order. Three rows, 3 columns. Lewis says, yeah, grid first and then worry about it afterwards. There's so few designs that I look at that I can't do it with a grid. Oops. So I'm going to do this 4 columns. So an auto, a star, sorry, 3 columns, auto, star, auto. Okay, cool. For the moment, I'm just going to put a box view with an orange background color. Oh, sorry, an accent color. There's our dot. And then I'll put these other values in here. What do we want? fail. Grid column equals 1. Okay, we need some okay, we might want to put a bit of column spacing of 10 inside of there. Okay, there we go. And so that's that. Let's go throw a value over here. It might be body text. Okay, and grab one more label in column 2. Probably want that to be a little bit bigger. Let's make that 30. So that's kind of looking about right. Hi Glenn. And oh, sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. President Not Sure, thanks for joining us. Got a scoot. Take care. Thank you very much. Drop back later on. Glenn, hello, Glenn. I hear you're going to be playing some jazz flute over the weekend. Fantastic. Glenn's talking about doing a big 10-hour stream. Staying classy. Beautiful. All right, cool. Let's do these other ones quickly. Jazz flute concert. Glenn, is it all right if I show the tweet that you mentioned that we're talking about? This is the tweet that we're talking about. So Glenn says he's porting one of his Xamarin iOS projects that's been in the App Store for years to Xamarin Android on the weekend. Wow. That doesn't sound hard at all. Thinking about streaming it all on Twitch for 10 plus hours. Would anyone be interested in watching? Yes, I would. And it turns out that if enough people follow this, he's gonna pull out his jazz flute because Glenn's also a musician. So let's hope for that. Cool. What are we doing here? We're doing some. You know, it's only when you do this stuff sort of on a stream, you realize how long it takes to do all of these things. You know, to actually get all this stuff laid out. Okay, so there we are. We've got our BTC. This next one is Ethereum. Does anyone Bitcoin around here? I don't. Spacing 10. We want these to all be right aligned. All right. And one more, and then we can talk about how we're going to provide those images. Okay, last one is US dollars. All right. Phew, there we go. So that's that top section. Yeah. So now the question comes for these here. Icon fonts or just icons? The reason I don't think icon fonts are going to work for this is because of the multiple colors inside of here. You know what I mean? So best I know, fonts can't have multiple colors, so you wouldn't be able to do it like this. So I think they're going to have to be images. That would be my guess. Icons it is. All right, you talked me into it. Let's do this. Let's go and, or maybe SVGs, maybe. Let's go and get a value here, which is about right. That's a pretty good guess. That's a really good guess. Sure, 24. 24. Let's use the accent color that we have. Beautiful. Now we need some icons. Maybe we can just grab one of these. Wowzers. Ooh. Ethereum assets. Got to get their marketing right. That's awesome. I'll have you. That's what we're after. Well, let's use this one. Does anyone else have this problem? When you download when you go and grab something like this, if you just copy it and paste it in the clipboard, it always has a black background. A WebP file. What the hell's a WebP file? I didn't think it'd be supported. A WebP file. Thanks, Ben. Look, let's just save it first. That's a WebP as well. What the hell? What? I don't understand. So it says PNG, but then when I go save image as, it says WebP. I don't even know what a WebP is. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. And let's just see what we get. I love the hacking. It's awesome. Let's see if we can get it. Beautiful. First you don't succeed, change the extension. All right, let's not get too carried away with this. Exactly. Yeah, wait on. I can do it. I can do a cheer. Sometimes this is a little bit painful when things auto align. There we go. Beautiful. It's a bit off center. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm off center. Okay. Let's not spend too much time with this. This is where I realize I am really, really bad at using Adobe. So I want to group this into something called Theorem icon, and then I want to make it an asset, a symbol, because then I can reuse it. All right, and this one here, and that one, it's already, that's definitely out of, that's definitely wrong, isn't it? Maybe it's not. Okay, we'll go with that. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we got our Ethereum icon. We had one other one. Are my cheers still going? God. All right. Too many buttons in front of me. The other one that we want is US dollars. What else? We need the dollar icon. Give me a dollar icon. I'll create the ellipse or somebody finds me a dollar. I suppose we could get font awesome and we could do it, or you know what? For the sake of argument, let's see what we can get out of this. I guess that's really white. No, not quite. How's that? No. I wonder if I have Font Awesome installed. No, I've only got Font Awesome bold. Let's go with that one for the moment, just because Actually, can we go to Font Awesome? Can you get... Can we get PNGs from them? I think you can. So let's do that. $, money, money. Can we download these? Next to code? Sorry. I'm not seeing it. That's the... You thought you saw a download icon? Maybe. Maybe because it's a pro one. Ah, there we go. Because it's a pro one. It's a paid one. Fair enough. Oh, let's do this. Let's see if we can. This is so unnecessary. Filter by free, yeah. $. It's gonna be the size of the moon. Don't do that. Get this one, make it white. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. Oh, crap. There we go. That'll do. It's a little bit fatter, but yeah, it's all right. Okay, cool. So we've got a rectangle. Which one's this? I don't even know what that is. We've got our $. Where's our circle? So we'll group these two together and we'll call this USD icon. This one here is BC icon. And this one here, we'll call it ETH icon. Designer courses. Oh man, I'd like to do that one day actually, because like with Adobe, there's two things I want to do with Adobe XD. I want to show people how to do. One is how to do the prototyping. So how you can do things like, say, when I click on here, go to here, and you can run a prototype. The other thing I want to do as well is you can write extensions for Adobe XD. And one of the extensions I'm working on for this is when you've got assets like this, just to be able to export those to XAML. Along with, like, you can do it with character styles as well. So basically set up all your styles. So that's something I want to do. If anyone's good at JavaScript, which I suck at, maybe we can do it together. Okay, now what am I doing here? These two here are giving me the willets because they don't feel centered. There we are. Now they're centered. Okay, cool. Now what I can do is this. And this is a cool thing. I can say, you're totally in. Yeah, it should be fun. I would, of course, love to be able to say, hey, let's be able to get a layout that you design in here and export it to like the layout into like grids and things like that. But that sounds really complex. Getting the styles out would be really easy. Anyway, right, what was I doing? Let's export these icons. So the cool thing here is we should be able to go export selected. And then if I go and choose my project folder, and I say, let's go into the iOS one, for example, and say, let's put it into there. And I say, export as iOS. It will give me the 1, 2, and 3 size ones. So then I can just go and do that for each of these. For iOS, export, and this one. And then just do the same thing for my Android ones. And it's going to give me all those sizes, which is really cool. I think I probably have to go into this directory. Yeah, it adds it into each folder. Yeah, so check this out. If I go to my folder now, if I look in my iOS one under resources, it's added those 3 sizes in. But also in the Android one, it'll have put it into the right folders here as well. So the HDPI, the extra HDPI, etc., etc. Yeah, so that's a thing. It's a thing. I like Adobe XD, and it's free, which is cool. Yeah, the one thing I don't think we can do though, if I'm not mistaken, is let's have a look. Let's try adding into our projects. This is where it becomes painful, because like for my iOS ones, I'll add the resources in. I'll just sort them by date. So get those. And they're all in now. With the Android ones though, I think that's still going to suck, because I think I've still got to come into here and do these individually, because I don't think, I don't know, maybe we can. Let's have a look. Let's try this. Try HDPI. Yeah, so you can't drop them in there. That sucks. Maybe there's an easier way. I'm not sure. I'm going to just do this. Take a moment. Low DPI. Jessipass, I think you're right. You're totally right, aren't you? Yeah. I forgot about that. So now I can do this, right? Include. Android resource. Yeah, awesome. Why doesn't it have a little oh, because it's not under source control yet. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Thanks, man. Isn't it funny when you see people doing things? Another cheer. Hang on. Yay! Top marks for thinking. It's always funny, isn't it, when you watch other people work? Because there's certain things that you do in your workflow that other people don't do, and you're like, why don't you just do it that way? All right, I think that's all of them. No, I didn't get that one. All right. Yeah, there's always lots to learn from everyone. That's a cool thing. Now, okay, let's take this back and let's put those icons in now. All right, what do we got? Let's replace those box views with some images. Probably need to put it on the right one. All right, there we go. Cool. Right, let's do the last one. That's a USD icon. Cool. Alrighty, how are we looking? I've made a bit of a mess of this page, but let's go back to our source image. Yeah, they're looking all right. They're looking all right. Cool. Now what we need is we need to do the second bit here. So while I'm doing all the boring stuff here, maybe somebody can think about how we might do these. Do the background on those. Gradient backgrounds. Anyway, I'll leave you with that one. In the meantime, let's go and do this thing. Okay, I'm thinking there's something called a pancake view, which the Wizen created. Yeah, I think we can do it easier. Jessipas. So like you could do a box view with a gradient. Yep. But you'd have to do a render. I think people have already done that. That's my guess. I'm hoping so. because I don't feel like writing a renderer. I'm too tired. Too tired to write a renderer. Well, what there is there's this one. I don't know why it's called a pancake view. But what this bad boy allows you to do is gradients, but with, you see it has with corners as well. So I reckon that one will do it for us. That's kind of like my default go-to if I've got to do gradients. All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can look at it while I'm doing it. Really wish I had a wider screen to present from. Anyway, let's do a box view. Let's give it some corner radius. I think what we said was 10, 10, 0, 0. Okay, and that'll give us a bit of a radius going on down here. Did we lose our... Let's say a click event on. Okay, I want to, when I click this, it should pop up. And we used to have something that was doing that. Box view first section. Where is this? It's there. Okay. Cool. In the stack layout. Input transparent. For some of those other controls, yeah, maybe. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because the stack layout is going over top of all of it, right? Yeah, because it's sitting straight over top of the box view. Yep, cool. Spot on. Yep. True. Let's see if that works. That didn't work. Because this stack layout, let's see where this is. This is my other favorite thing to do when doing designs, is like if you need to see where something is, just set its color be something. Okay, so that's only that big. And that tells me that that should really, when I tap on this, it should be calling that. Let's have a look. Bid pop-up. And it is. All right. Is it a problem that it's set to auto? And we got a height request in here. Yeah, it was working before. Grid row 1. Let's try this. Let's set this to have a height of 300. No. Okay. Something not working. Just going to rerun it. Sometimes things get a little bit wacky with the reload. That's not right. let's fix that. Make a bid, pops it up. Let's have a look. This is in our main code here. All right. Yeah, the code for it sliding in is basically just this, right? Let's just have a look here. So in our bid pop-up on expand is an expand pop-up. Where's that? That's this one. Yeah, there's an issue in the translation for sure. All right, so this one comes into here. It says, hey, go and get the height of the first section. It fades in the gray background, and then it gets the page height minus the first section. Okay, so that takes us through to there. What's next? Hang on just a second. Hello. Yeah, I'm still streaming. All right. Cool. That was my wife wondering where her lunch is. Let's have a look here. Let's see if we can fix this issue quickly, and then I can go for some lunch. So the page height. Let's put a breakpoint back in here. Page height 736. The first section 266. Takes it up to there. Cool. Now when I tap here, I'm translating to 0. So bid pop-up height, I would have thought would be the whole lot. Anyone think about this? Let's just do this for a moment. All right, let's see what we have here. Click on that one. The height, 566. Oh, hang on. Aren't we supposed to do this? Let's try that. Yes, there we go. Beautiful. So then we get those two pop-ups, and then we click outside, and it all goes away. Beautiful. Wunderbar. Your internet died for a couple of minutes. Mine is constantly. We fixed the issue. I'm sure if you were here, Joseph, you would have just like spotted it straight away. You're like MVP for today. All right, we're doing this bottom section. So select the currency bid. We're going to do some pancake views maybe for this bad boy. A couple of sections down here. Cool. How did I fix it? The whole problem was it was wrong in the first place. It never really worked. It just kind of looked like it worked. What was happening was we were just getting the height of the pop-up, and that's how we were bringing it. So it was actually kind of like bringing it down from the top. So it was kind of like it just happened to sort of work. Yeah, so it was missing this. All right, let's do the bid pop-up. Let's say we want that. Details, exactly. Don't lose my Intellisense again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's the second time you've crashed on me today, Visual Studio. I'm going to wait for a second. I don't think it's coming back. I don't think it's coming back. It came back. Phew. All right. Awesome.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Carlson. Oh, how amazing.
Trash Lord. Thank you for the follow, Trash Lord. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So we're just getting into the guts of reproducing a UI in Xamarin.Forms. All right. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just doing this bit here. So I want this to have a little bit of a margin around it. Beautiful. All right. So body text, yeah, that'll be cool. We might make that bold. Cool. Now let's put the other labels in. And then we'll come back and maximum bid. And then we'll have one more label. I get tired. I'm just a man. Maximum bid. I should mention, by the way, as well, I think this is like, I think doing these layouts is loads of fun. I really enjoy doing this sort of stuff. So if anyone wants to sort of pick any layouts or anything that we can work on, a really good place to go is to Dribble, right? And feel free to go and like find some layouts that you want us to implement. You know, so normally if you come in here and you do like mobile or something, you'll find lots of really cool little layouts. Yeah, and just like that one looks interesting. Yeah, that looks cool. So if anyone wants to like, whoa, pick something, that one looks super hard. But we can do it in further streams, because we're probably, you know, with a little bit of fine tuning, we're almost at the end of this one, I reckon. It's famous last words. All right. I don't know if that's the next layout. That layout looks super challenged. That did escalate quickly. Yeah, I know. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, that looks nice and gentle, and then it's like, boom. Mind you, like layouts like that, I don't know how anyone would use it. You know what I mean? I reckon the usability of that would suck. Anyway, maybe not. Maybe it's intuitive. All right. Okay. What do you reckon? We've got that section sort of done. We need to put these bits in. Yeah, too much training for the user. Should we do these? Should we try these ones? Maybe we'll start them off with a box view, and then we'll wrap a pancake around them and we'll see what happens. Cool. So again, I reckon we'll do a grid with 3 columns. And there'll be auto star size columns. And we'll check a box view in there. And let's just nab a few colors first of all. Well, let's just make them white to start with. I know. So get that, and then what we can do is we can say, add that in as a color. So we'll just make a more light accent for the moment, which is that. We'll add a color into our style resources. Okay, you can be that. Kapow. I didn't save this SAML. There we go. That doesn't quite look right, but let's fix that up. It's outside of the grid, so let's put it into the grid. Beautiful. And we'll put 3 of those in. Oh, nice one, Lewis. You found us a question mark icon. Love it. Right. No. All right. How's that looking? Too square. Yeah, maybe. Actually, you know, we could. So if we did some rounded corners on these bad boys, that would give us an idea. Maybe 5's better. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. What else we need? We need to put some text in here, don't we? And an icon. Good thing is we got the icons, right? Where did that go? What's it called? Where's my icon gone? Why can't I find it? Where's the icon? Oh, okay, makes sense. Okay, vertical options, make it start. Horizontal options, make it start. There we go. That's good. This should actually be in the middle one, but let's say grid, let's say, well, actually probably what we want is we probably want a stack layout here, don't we? So from our design, what we would do, let me just bring this over here, show you what I'm talking about. I think what we're going to have is we're going to have some kind of container. Maybe we'll have we could either do it as a grid with 2 columns or 2 rows, or maybe we just a stack layout going down this way. Stack layouts are a little bit cheaper, so I reckon we'll go with stack layout. And that way we can get a little bit of margin in here as well. And then we could have some text. So this one is Bitcoin. Style is maybe subtitle text. No. Frame and a stack layout. Yeah. Like it really depends on what this is supposed to be, whether they're supposed to be buttons. You know what I mean? So let's go Bitcoin. Let's say the text color equals. Actually, I think that might just be body text to the truth. Actually, subtitle text with a text color would look better. There we go. So that gives us the idea of that sort of thing. But what we might do is we might stop that auto sizing and we'll get it to size to the content. So in other words, what I mean is now that we've got that stack layout there, we should be able to get rid of this height, and we should be able to set it to auto. Yeah, there we are. I'll probably even just get rid of it altogether, but yeah, that would work. Auto, it says Bitcoin. And we've got 3 of these. So this first one actually is supposed to be a US dollar. This one's going to go in grid column 1, and this one's going to go in grid column 2. I can't spell dollar. Dollar. Call that. Yeah, there we go. All right. So there we are. We've got those 3 there. So they've got different gradients going on. I'm assuming that's probably because they're selectable. And they've also got a little bit of shadow going on as well. That'll be interesting. All right. Maximum bid, we need a question mark. We've got a question mark. That PNG is black. I wonder if we can... use that URL to go and get a white version of the icon. Or if we get a SVG, maybe. Yeah, cool. So maybe if we come in here, yeah, bring it in as an SVG and we'll change color. Exactly. There it is. Beauty. Oops. I should lock that. Hang on. There we go. That icon's perfect. And I can select it. Technically, it's not quite white. Oh, that'll do us. Let's go with that one. Beautiful. And we'll call this question icon. And then we'll go and export it. For Android, under Android resources. And then we'll do it for iOS. Make sure we change the directory back up. And then come back into here and use that little trick that we, Jessipas, I think it was, reminded us of. Let's go and look at all the files. And where'd it go? Did I totally screw that? Question icon. Why am I not seeing it? Where is that going to? GitHub resources. So it should be there. Why aren't I seeing it? Am I not looking? Go away. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. For some reason didn't show up. Okay, anyway, including project, beautiful. And then we'll come to our Androids and hopefully we'll see the same things. Oh, is it per project? Well, there you go. Awesome. So that's like save 5 minutes out of my life every day. This is something I noticed in Visual Studio. It's really slow to include a file. I don't know why. I don't know what it's doing. All right. We're almost there. I wonder if I could have selected all of them and said include. Anyway, last one. Cool. Build errors. Everything failed. Wow. It's like the quickest build fail ever. All right, cool. Alrighty. So what are we up to? We're going to add in that little information, put in a line, and we'll stick a button down the bottom. And then I might have to call it a quits, I think. Because my wife came in and said, "Where's lunch?" Use it. So Jessica says, if you use JPEG instead of PNG, the build is faster. Yeah, but also isn't there going to be a problem that JPEGs aren't as concise for something like this? They're bigger, aren't they? Okay, so we want to have our image source. Yeah, you lose transparent backgrounds. That's true. Yes, you do. There's our question icon. So maybe what we'll do is we'll put this inside of a horizontal stack layout. Ta-da! Beautiful. And then we can use that to give us some margin. There was a follow there somewhere. Major League Army, thank you so much for the follow. So welcome. We're just designing some Xamarin.Forms UIs. Okay. I think I don't want that much padding. How's that look? So that, of course, that shouldn't have 2 question marks. And that one, it's probably okay. We'll add a little bit more spacing in between them. Push it out a little bit. Beautiful. Then let's do ourselves a horizontal line. So we'll copy that line from the top, I think. Okay, find ourselves a little box view. Bring it down here. Okay, beautiful. So we want to have that padded in a little bit. Oh, so we get rid of the negative margins. We don't need those anymore. But what we might add is we might add a little top margin in there, I think. Okay, that looks all right. Last thing, let's just quickly throw a button in here. With a text of make a bid. Let's see how badly that renders. So it's on iOS, of course, it's going to do that. So we want to give it a background color. Has anyone got a good link on rounded buttons? Because what I can do is I can just do this. I can say text color equals our accent color. Okay. And okay, could say my corner radius something like that. Okay, we probably want a bigger font in here for this one. Put a margin down here. That's the wrong one. Let's put it down the bottom instead. That's not too bad. So use a corner radius of 20 in iOS and 40 in Android, Lewis. Do I do something to organize my XAML code? Well, the number one thing that I do is, you know, like if I looked at, okay, first thing is I've got an extension, which is called, do I even have it on? I'm sure I do. Yeah, XAML styler. So there's that one. Depends on what you need by organizing. So what XAML styler does is it basically comes and, you know, if I had this on the same line, you set some rules about how you want attributes to be. So I say if there's like 2 attributes, it's fine to leave it on one line, but if there's more than that, put them over multiple lines. So when I do a save, it reconfigures it, and it also alphabeticalizes them. So if that was up here and I did a save, it would move it back down to here. So that's what I do. In terms of actually like organizing my XAML internally, what I might do, you know, if I got a page that is actually going to be part of my production app, yeah, it's a cool extension, that one. And it's really configurable as well. So you can come down here, XAML styler. You can say, do you want tabs versus spaces? You can say how many attributes can go on a line. Keep the first attribute in the same line. So there's heaps of really cool stuff. You can also have like special, you know, like particular things will go onto particular lines. It's got heaps and heaps of good things. And I think I learnt from James Montemagno. Yeah, you can create a like, do you know what an editor config is? Like an editor config is basically getting this config and saving it as a file in your project so that anyone who opens this project would have the same XAML styler layout, which is awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. What else? Maybe I'd consider, like, depending on what this does, moving that into its own content view, but probably not, you know. Yeah, it's really great to work with teams, absolutely. No problems. Well, look, where are we at? Let's have a look at this application. Let's compare it to what we have, because I'm going to have to get going. So I'm just trying to find my windows here. Okay. So I think that's the video, isn't it? No, maybe it's not. Let's have a look. Okay, so application at the moment, a couple of things I need to do. I need a Wikipedia icon. When I come and I click down here, oh, it's supposed to pop up a little bit further. Okay, and then if I click on here, it should go up. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? All right, so we might have a little bit more tidying up to do. All right, let's have a look at that. It's the general vibe. The general vibe's there. A little bit more tidying up. So look, I might have to call it quits for today. But I'll continue working on this. I'll also check it in as well. So let me do that before I finish. and this is like the worst check-in ever. So I can kind of cheat and just say, hey, these are all the updates from Stream 2. I don't know. Do a sync. Seems legit, exactly. It's like if I was another developer working this, I'd just rage quit at this point. All right, cool. Let me just check that it made it out there. Oh, actually, the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure I save this as well, because that is also in the GitHub repo. Update from Stream 2. And let's just add that one in as well. Beauty. All right. So, hey, thanks for joining, and thanks very much for all the help. You know, especially Jespis and Lewis and everyone else who's been watching. So thanks a lot. I will keep on working on this, or if you want, you know, feel free to go to the GitHub repo and you know, throw in a few pull requests. There's a link to the page there. Yeah, cool. If you've got any other crazy ideas for us to develop together, we can do that. Yeah. All right. So take care, everyone. I'll enjoy my lunch. Thank you very much. Everyone have a good weekend. It's Friday. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.